Hi YouTube! Today I'm going on a bit of an adventure to my first ever comic convention and it's going to be exciting. I'm dragging Brian along with me. I think he's a little bit excited. Are you excited?
Sure.
He's that excited. Okay, well we're on the way now, so I'll let you see it when we get there. So we've made it, we're here. We got here a couple of hours after it started, which was a big mistake parking wise. We've had to walk a long way. So now we're really hot and tired, but we're here and there's people. We're following the people because we don't really know where we're going, but we're here. Yay! Yay, Brian!
Yay!
Yay! Straight away, right? Hi, Spider-Man.
Hello.
I don't know if you guys can hear me right now, but this is kind of crazy. I'm definitely feeling really overwhelmed. Brian's kind of trailing behind me. Oh my god, we've got nothing. I could have spent like thousands of dollars on art so far. I'm being really restrained for the moment, and I think we're kind of halfway through. There's a lot to see. I'm trying not to fall over people. Hopefully. That was kind of crazy. I don't think I got very much footage inside, and I didn't get very much footage of cosplayers. There weren't very many though. There were a few, but every time I saw them there was like huge crowds around them, so I didn't really get much photos or things like that. Sorry guys. But yeah, it was fun. We're going to do like the long walk back to the car right now, so I will tell you the wrap up when I get back home. So we're finally back home. It took us like 10 minutes to walk back to the car in 110-degree heat, so that was fun. And we decided we needed to go and get some kind of sustenance, so we went for a nice barbecue meal and about 300 gallons of sweet tea to get some sugar and fluids going again. But now we're home and rested and relaxed, and I can tell you all about the convention. I'm sorry I didn't get a lot of footage of the cosplayers. The layout of the convention was a little bit squished, kind of. I think they needed a bigger hall. The tables weren't too squished, and you could walk like one way along the one side and then the other way down that side. So there's plenty of space to walk, but there was no room to stop unless you were at the end of each aisle. So if you sort of passed a cosplayer on the way, there was no way to say, hey, could I get a picture with you? Because you had to catch them at each end, really. And we tried to hover at the end of a few aisles to see who would come down or whatever, but we just kept missing them. So hopefully next year they'll put it in a slightly bigger hall to give more space, so if you're walking down the aisles and do want a picture, then you've got space to do that rather than having to really hover around for indefinite lengths of time waiting for the cosplayers at each corners. There were some people there dressed as dinosaurs in a gaggle together. I got a picture with them because I didn't really want to miss the opportunity, but we blocked the aisle. I mean, everybody wanted a picture with them, and basically the two tables they were in front of had nothing to do with them, and I felt kind of sorry for the artists because nobody could get to their tables. It was just a bunch of dinosaur butt in the way. But other than that, we had a fun time. Well, we bought a few things, not as much as I kind of wanted to, but I could have spent a fortune on art. There were so many awesome artists there. Just from going like first aisle, I could have spent like $500–600 on art just down there, and there was the whole hall to go through. We did buy one piece, which I'll show you in a minute, and I also took down a note of a few different graphic novels along the way. I'm kind of new to graphic novels. I haven't read any since I was a kid, but there was a lot of variety to choose from there. But enough of my rambling, let's get on to what I actually got from the convention. First up was not something I bought there, but I wore, I don't think you can see it in here, I'll put a picture my squid bottling ships t-shirt, and everybody in the convention sort of stopped me and said, I love your t-shirt. So I'm kind of glad I wore that. And to mark the occasion of it being a squid octopus kind of thing, I bought this very cute little tiny octopus that is not a hat but could very easily be a hat. I don't know what to call it. Answers in the comments. What do you think I should call him? I'm wondering whether to call him Bottle because of my bottling ships thing, but I don't know. I'll think of something, or you guys let me know what you think. Next, we found a really great artist called Travis Hanson, and he was doing free sketches on the spot, so I got, I'll put this closer, a dragon. And he took it so quickly as well, I was really impressed. But he does very interesting sort of adventure-y art. He also has a children's book because somebody suggested to him that it would be great for illustrations in children's books. And I definitely agree with that as well. And Brian and I actually bought one of the large pictures, let me turn it around the right way, of his, which is a wishing well dragon. I just love the dragon's face. He's so unhappy for getting all these riches coming in down the wishing well. And then you've got the little kid at the top who's just spent 5 cents. So I guess all these coins are like 5 cents. So he's made what, $50 in 5 cents pieces? I think the dragon needs to up that wishing well cost. The third and final thing I got was a graphic novel. Can't really go to a comic convention without getting some kind of comic or graphic novel, right? So this was in the 50% off boxes. I can't remember what they called them specifically, but I think they're sort of like trade copies or something, I'm not sure. But they're in perfect condition, they hadn't been used or anything. And this one, the art caught my eye and the story as well, which, let me show you. It's called The Hollows. Don't want that to catch the light. It's a pretty neat cover, huh? And this is by Chris Ryle and Sam Keith. Not heard of either of them before. It's probably going to be people raging at me because maybe they're famous, I don't know. But this story is set in near future Japan, and it's about there are burnt out husks, I guess, of people called the Hollows who drain the life out of people. So civilization has kind of moved up from the ground and lives in trees up above, but the problem below with the Hollows is kind of getting out of control. And that sounded interesting to me, and the artwork, as I said, is stunning. I love the kind of creepy art that's going on in there. I'll just try and flick through a few pages for you. So I'm excited about this, and it was 50% off, so that's even better. There are a few other graphic novels that I took note of. I didn't actually buy when I was there because I felt the prices were a little expensive. The majority, and I do mean like 95 to 98% of the stuff in there was full price. No discount, no nothing. And I know a lot of people complain about people complaining about this. But conventions, usually you buy your ticket, and it was $35 per ticket for 1 day for the convention, plus $5 handling, even though it was all done online. So $40 per person for a 1 day ticket gets you into the convention. And usually after you've bought your convention ticket, it means that you're going into a place that has things which aren't available outside of the convention, and there were a lot of exclusives there, or things which are available outside the convention but they're at a discounted rate, or there's something special to do with them there, that they've done like some kind of art inside, I guess, or a different cover or something like that. And there were a few things like that, but for the majority, and especially with the, I don't know if they're called indie graphic novels, but not Marvel or DC, you know, the other kind of ones, they were all full price, no discount. A couple were doing sort of like $20 a piece or 2 for $35, which is still not really that much of a discount, $5 off, but you've got to buy 2 of them. So we didn't end up getting any of them, but I have taken note of the ones that I do want to get in future, but I'm gonna have to space it out a little bit. But I was a little bit disappointed that the book convention I went to last year had the same sort of thing. You're paying full price for a ticket and then full price for everything that's inside. What's the point of going if you're not going to get anything special about being there for the convention? I don't know. There were a lot of famous people there, but for that you had to spend an add-on to your ticket, which was, I think depending on which one you wanted, range from like $100 to I think $150. So again, for your base price ticket, you're not really getting anything fancy for $40 per person per day. And then for the fancy things about meeting people, getting the photographs and signings and things like that for the really big fans, you're still paying like a lot of money. And then when you walk around the hall afterwards, you're going to be paying full price for everything as well, which was, well, maybe other people don't mind that, but for me it just seemed like there should have been some kind of, I don't know, convention discount, 5%, 10%, something like that off everything. I don't know. But the graphic novels that I've made a note of, there's quite a few, so I've got my list here. The first was, I think he was the writer, but possibly the artist as well, Jim Kruger, who I've googled afterwards, and it seems like he's an award-winning graphic novel person. I had no idea because I'm completely new to all this. Very nice guy. We chatted to him, I think it was him, but we chatted to him for a little while. And the two that I really liked the look of and the sound of, one was called The Runner, and I'll put a picture up here of the cover, which is a really nice cover. And it's about a guy who is kind of on the run from death, really. He doesn't want to die, so he's avoiding situations where death appears. So if somebody's in trouble or an accident happens, he will run in the opposite direction. And then the premise of the book, I think, is that he saves someone's life, and then maybe that changes the way things go. But the art looked great and the story sounded very intriguing. The other one I liked the look of by Jim Kruger was called The High Cost of Happiness, and he said it was to do with when fairy tales go wrong, whereas, you know, fairy tales lead you up to the happily ever after in the wedding, these start with the wedding and then it's not necessarily happily ever after, it's very dark, and I love that kind of concept. So that's something I'm definitely going to be checking out later on. There was an artist there whose art I really liked the look of. She didn't have any graphic novels, just prints and originals, and her name is Ashley Izyanicki, I think is the last name, and she does a lot of pen and ink art with slightly creepy dark vibes going on in it. I really like that. It was kind of cutesy and creepy together. I'll put a link to her stuff down below. Another graphic novel that I like the look of was The Children of Elder by Gemma M. Young, and the premise is that there are three young friends who are lost in a different realm where there's magic and magical creatures, I think beings that are going to hunt you and eat you, that sort of thing, and they need to try and escape and get back to reality. And I love the idea that there's going to be so many different weird and wonderful creatures popping up in there, so I definitely want to check that out too. Another artist to check out is Gigi Rockets. She does Disney art that's kind of, well, she does a lot of different art, but the ones I like the most there were sort of Disney art in pin-up style, which I thought was a very fun concept, and I'll put a link to her stuff down below as well. Also, Rachel Walker and David Cohn, I think they're both artists, or maybe she just was. I spoke to her there, and her company is called Edge of the World Art. I fell in love with a few of her pieces. I unfortunately couldn't buy all the art when I was there today, but I definitely want to get a few of hers, and again I'll put her link down below so you can check her out too. And last but by no means least was a graphic novel that again piqued my interest. The author, I think he was the writer and the artist, but I may be wrong on that, it might have just been the writer, I can't remember. His name is William Dickstein, and his graphic novel is called Chosen, with some numbers in there like elite speak. But the premise is that genetics have been discovered that can make it so that you are enhanced in some way. So you may end up being a pro athlete or a star in some way, or a rock star, or you may have a superpower turn up. And I think one of the main characters has a superpower of being able to grow crystals out of herself. One is some kind of robotics mechanic kind of thing. So that sounded really good. I love things with superpowers and genetic mutations and things like that, because you're going to get weird and wonderful creations in there, and the art looked really great too, so I'm definitely going to check that out as well. So that was it for my small haul and for the artists and authors that I'm going to check out later. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Comic Con today. I'm really happy that my first one was a local one. I've had a lot of fun. It's definitely been a great first comic convention experience, and I will definitely be going back next year and to other ones as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye!